Om Sahana Bhavatu Sahana Bhunaktu Saha Viryam Karavavahai Tejasvinavadhitamastu ma vidvishavahai. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Yeah, so then we look at this, okay? Mantra number 7. It's in Devanagari numerals. So somehow Katama Atma iti Yoyam Vijnanamayah Praneshu Hridi Antarjyotihi Purushaha. So this is the answer that is given. So the question was what? What is this Atma? Which is this thing called the self? Where is this self? First of all, what is this self? And Yajnavalkya gives a beautiful response and talks about the self as light. Because so many things, will the real self please stand up? Body is there, which claims to be the self. Mind is there, which claims to be the self. Senses are there, that claim to be the self. Kartritvam is there, I am the doer. That notion also claims to be the self. I am done in bhoktritvam, that also, the notion claims to be the self. So if he had done any of those things, the teaching would not have gone anywhere. And if he had immediately said Atma is Jyoti, it would have made no sense. So you had to go through the whole thing. The light of the sun, the sun is a self-lit light. You see the example here. Self-lit light. You don't go and set a fire to the sun and fire it up. Sun is already self-lit. It just shines. Its nature is to shine. And then the moon, the moon also is very interesting here. The moon shines in borrowed light, like even the mind shines in the borrowed light of the Atma. So then after moon what? Fire, lightning, stars, whatever you want. And you can keep on increasing the thing. And then the speech. Because even if it is thick darkness, where you cannot even see your own hand, the speech will make it, Yeah, that's why the bats, when they move around, sonic. So, speech makes it, they use sound waves. So, speech makes it easy. Because the person speaking, and here's a hint, because now it is back to the person. Before, all the other lights that were given was what? Outside lights. Fire outside to the self, clearly. Moon, sun outside to the self. Speech here, outside or inside? Oh, wait a minute, there is a little bit of a confusion, correct? Hello, is anybody there? It's coming outside, but where is it coming from? Within. So it's both outside, inside. It's kind of already on the cusp of going within. So even and Yajnavalkya says to Janaka, if the darkness is so thick that you cannot even see your own hand, you can find things through speech. Anybody there? I'm coming here. Get out of the way. I don't want to hit you. And then the person can move because they follow the sound. Follow me. I think I see something here. So, speech leads one. And let's say the one who is speaking has developed laryngitis. No sound comes, no speech comes. Then what? When there is no speech, you go to understanding the content of what constitutes the speaker. Very interesting. So this is very interesting. So speech is no longer there, but is the one who is either capable of speaking or incapable of speaking there or not? Yes. Because speech is dependent on somebody. Speech is dependent upon speaker. The speaker has been silenced. Again some thugs have put a tape around the mouth, and the poor victim cannot even say, "I am here." But still that doesn't mean the person is not there. Are you here?
Yes.
Supposing you don't say yes. Which happens quite a lot. Does that mean you are not here? No. So is your existence contingent upon your ability to speak? No. In fact, it's the other way around, is it? Yad vacha anabhyuditam yena vag abhyudyate. That which is not able to be captured by speech. In fact, that because of which speech comes to light. That light, because of which speech comes to light. I say, aha, I hear. What do you hear? I hear speech. Whose speech? My own speech I hear. And then, speech is dependent upon speaker. Speech is dependent upon speaker. And then afterwards, in fact, the previous chapter to this chapter, chapter 3 has already said that all the 5 elements are dependent upon the self. This is bringing that home, not directly but indirectly, because that was already discussed. So there cannot be any, there can't be just speech like a ghostly voice wafting around. Even that voice, if it were there, belongs to the poor ghost. So, so speech is not independent of the speaker. So speech is dependent upon what? Light. What kind of light is this? Speech is dependent upon awareness. Right? And what is that awareness? Awareness of speech. Awareness of no light. How thick the darkness is, I can't even see my own hands. Who is thinking this? Thinker. Is the thinker an independent entity? No. Thinking happens, and that thinking is also dependent upon that which is broadcasting the thoughts in the mind or outside in the form of speech. Very interesting. Speech is dependent upon the speaker. Thoughts are dependent upon the thinker. And then when you look into the thinker, there is no such thing called thinker. Because that thing called thinker is nothing but awareness with a hat called thinker. And when the thinker speaks, the thinker takes off the thinker hat and puts on the speaker hat and speaks. And what is that Atma? Hatless Atma. Hats off to this Atma. That is the true meaning, the only meaning of the word I. Natu, karya karana sanghatah. Not this body-mind sense complex. Because then that is what is called light, because it brings everything to light. That is why it's called light. Because in its presence, it manifests everything. It brings everything to light, including one's own ignorance. How do you know you are ignorant and you need Vedanta? And you need to come and attend a few classes. How do you know? I know, I don't know. Very funny. I know that I don't know. And that I know, which is the precursor to the cognizance of ignorance. I know that I don't know. That I know is what? That I know is what? Never becomes I don't know. That's why it's called a light that never goes off. Lights on, nobody home. Meaning nobody is studying Vedanta, light is on. Atma is doing its thing, but nobody knows. And every other light gets switched off. Sun takes a holiday every night, wherever it's night. Moon takes a holiday. And then fire takes a holiday. And then what? Speech also takes a holiday, thanks to viruses, bacteria, pneumonia, bronchitis, laryngitis, this itis, that itis. And then finally it's the turn of Atma to take a holiday. Atma day. When is it? Everybody should know which is Atma's special holiday day. Huh? Which is it? January 1st? Maybe December 31st? Maybe, maybe June 21st, solstice? Which day is the day for Atma to take off?
Never.
Never is the light off. Okay? Light is on all the time. That's why it is called the seer without eyelids. Can you imagine without eyelids? Yeah. If you are without eyelids, then that means you never ever blink. And some people have the uncanny habit of not blinking for a long time. And you start to feel uncomfortable for them and you start to blink for them. Because they don't blink at all. But that is how the Atma is. It sees everything. Drik sees. And then sees everything. And then what? What happens? It does not even blink. That's how we get the expression, don't blink, you'll miss it. What is the time for Nimisha? Means the closing and the opening of the eyes. What is the time involved? A nanosecond, a picosecond. These are all seconds cut up into little confetti. Okay? Little diamond shaped pieces. One is called nano, and the one smaller, when the nano is cut up into another small triangle, it is called picosecond. So that's all how it takes to blink. But even in that, you could miss some things, correct? An expression, something. You will not miss a big robbery, if you blink. But many things you can miss if you just blink. Therefore, to be on the safe side, the seer called Atma, is imagined, without eyelids, never blinks. Unblinking Atma, alupta drik, goes on. That's what it is. It sees everything, nothing can see it. This is very nice. It is aware. Sees means you shouldn't take it literally, okay? Otherwise we are in trouble. Then you have to say, then it will have dry eyes, it will need some eye drops, Yeah. Sees means it is figurative. Like, do you see this? Do you see what you've done? Like when you say like that. It's a metaphorical expression. So sees means what? That it is aware of everything. In its presence, everything unfolds. It is not unaware. It is completely aware of everything. In fact, it is the awareness behind everything. Meaning it is all knowledge. Chidatma, Chit. Atma in the form of that sentient seer, awarer, which is the meaning of the word I. The one who is aware of everything. Nothing escapes. In fact, everything is, because I is. No, but if you are grammatically wrong, you should say I am. Not here we are talking of is, presence. I is, therefore you is, it is, she is, he is, sun is, moon is, fire is, lightning is, speech is, silence is. So what is this is? It's an is that never becomes is not. Aluptadrik. Very nice. The is that never becomes is not. It doesn't know how to become is not. Because it always is. It is there all the time. And it is aware of everything. That it is aware of everything makes it all knowledge. No, I understand that it's aware, but how do you jump to all knowledge? Well, consider it. It knows everything. Because there's nothing it doesn't know. Just like the person knows, even in the dark, that I am. When speech has stopped, when the sun has stopped shining, when the moon has stopped shining, when the fire has gone out, when the speech doesn't work, do you know you are there? Yes. That is how. That is that knowing. And that knowing, being. When you say knowing, it is Chit. When you say being, it is Sat. When you say knowing, being, it is Sat Chit. And how long does this Sat Chit continue? Yesterday it was there. Yes, Sat Chit, Sat Chit, Sat Chit. So once upon a time when Yajnavalkya and what's his name? The other one, the one is Janaka, starts with J. Yeah. When Janaka and Yajnavalkya met, was this Atma there? Knowing being? Yes. That's how we know. Yes, yes. It was there then. Yes, 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 yes. It is there now. How is it there? Yes. Now are you here? Yes. Now. How about now? Now. Yes. Now, the question is, how long is this now? Is now over now? Think about it. Is now ending now? Is now ended now? Is now continuing now? Yeah, that makes more sense. Now is here right now. So is right now? Is now? Is now? What is the length of now? How do you measure now? What kind of tape do you need? Inches? Centimeters? Millimeters? How long is now? Now. No length. Now is eternity. Here you can use the word. Now is infinite. Now has no time. Are you sad now? Come on, say no just to humor me.
No.
How about now?
No.
About now?
No.
About now?
No.
Let's say there was somebody who said yes. Yes.
Yes.
You should say yes. Then I will say, that was Zen. This is now. This is Tao. Which is now?
Now.
That is, that moment was gone. Now are you sad? You can never be sad now. This is the fun part. Are you afraid now? No, but before I came here, I was very afraid. And I can easily relive the fear in the future. Okay, no. Now are you afraid? No. Now are you sad? No. Now are you deluded? No. Now do you feel friendless? No. Now are you lonely? No. Now do you have all kinds of complexes? No. Even though I want to say yes. No, the answer is, the correct answer is no. Because the now is empty of a time, time-boundedness. Now is limitless. Now is you. You are now. And now, since it is free of all bondage, it is called limitless. And it is also called Ananda. And what is the meaning of the word Ananda?
Limitless.
Limitless. Joy. Ananda is joy. Happiness. Because that's what one wants. It's It's not enough to have money. You need large, limitless amounts of money. You see? It's not enough to have love in your life. I need everyone I know to love me. Come on, it's not possible. But that's what one wants, because one wants that limitlessness without knowing that one is already that, one wants that. It's not enough to have things. I want lots of things. That's why there is a kind of a funny festival tomorrow. Yeah. Mall festival. What is the,
Black Friday.
Black Friday.
Yeah. How do you spell mall? M-A-U-L, especially tomorrow. You go and get mauled, if not of your pocketbook, at least of your sanity. You get mauled. So, this is what it is. So, this is this limitless that, that one already is, that one wants to experience in little scraps, like a doggy sitting at the table, looking expectantly, breathing, looking at the owner. Something may be dropping. And that's why they like to sit near children eating, because children will drop a lot of things. Quickly, gone, finished, And here the jiva has become a doggy, sitting and begging at the table of life, when it can just enjoy everything being itself. Just being oneself, one can enjoy this limitlessness as oneself. But if this is not understood, then one becomes a beggar. Give me, give me, give me. Give me this. And even the prayer, one becomes a, beggar. So many things one wants. You go to a church, temple, wherever, and then you don't know which one to ask first, because there are so many things. Oh, make me successful. Yeah, but what's the use of success without riches? Okay, make me rich, make me successful. But then you don't want to be alone and rich and successful. What's the point? I should have friends and loved ones to enjoy the success. But they shouldn't be too greedy to want everything. That is also another prayer. Then what's the use if everyone is friendly and enjoying the success? There should be a few people who are burning up just looking at me. So I need some inimical people around. Some people who don't have. That is also there. And then what? So many things. And you don't know which prayer should come first, because it's all just crowded. This is the state of the person who does not know the nature of this Jyoti, this Jyoti Swarupa, the nature of this light as I. And that's why we are breaking down, so to speak, that which can never be broken down, broken up into these components. The Upanishad has a way of packaging this information. Are you here? Yes. So therefore you exist. And your existence does not depend upon anybody's validation, ratification. You're not a parking stub that it has to be validated. No validation needed. Nobody needed to say, you exist. That you exist is evident to you, is it not? Yes. And if it is evident to you, what does that make you? Self-evident. Self-evident, self. And self-evident means everything is evident to me, but in order to be evident of myself, I don't have to go to another self to say, do I exist? You don't have to do that. Are you here? Nobody says, I'll find out and come back and tell you.
Then I'll be there.
Yeah. Sometimes, you can't do that, because there's no need to do that. And you cannot say, I'm going to check up and come back to you. Who is the one coming back? Who is the one who is here? That's the one. It's a self-evident self. And since that self doesn't need any evidence whatsoever of its existence, that's why it's called self-evident. It doesn't need any other proof by any other consciousness, awareness, and so therefore it is called what? It is called self-effulgent self. And when you say self-effulgence, the concept of Jyotir-Swarupa, light, already comes. Because it is like a light in whose presence everything comes to light. Like the sun is shining over everything. The sun is shining over this whole Jagat, where numerous activities, let's say, simultaneously are taking place. Here, one fellow is beating up another fellow with a big, stick, running behind him and beating. The sun shines, correct? And there someone sits and has a good cry. The sun shines. Elsewhere underneath a tree, a Bhagavad Gita class is going on. The sun shines. A few feet away under another tree, a group of robbers plan a heist. How to rob the bank. They have the blueprints and wear all those red lines. What are they called? Lasers. Yeah. They have their cat suits and their moves, how to go under and above, all that they are practicing under another tree. And the sun doesn't say, they should be reported. No, what does it do? Shines. It brings everything to awareness. So too this self-effulgent self brings everything to awareness, manifests everything, makes everything evident, regardless of whether that everything is outside in the form of the Jagat or whether it is inside in the form of body, mind, sense, complex processes. Of course, the words outside and inside have to be in heavy quotes. In fact, from now on, I'm going to hold my hands like this. So the whole thing is like this, Everything becomes evident. It is self-evident. It is unopposed to what you consider good, what you consider bad. It is unopposed to anything. Just like the sun is not shining harder on the people studying the Bhagavad Gita and withdrawing its light from the robbers. No, it's shining equally and bringing everything to light. So too, the light of the Atma, this self-effulgent, self-evident, conscious presence, this awareness brings to light your knowledge of discrete things. I know biology, I know history, I know how to work a computer, and your ignorance. I don't know Greek, I don't know Chinese, and I don't know myself. Even the I don't know myself is evident. It's not opposed to knowledge, it's not opposed to ignorance, it's not opposed to knowledge of something, it is not opposed to ignorance of something, because ultimately it is that knowledge which is free of any divisions. We'll look at that soon. But this much I want you to assimilate. So this is a far cry from saying I'm fat, I'm thin, I'm tall, I'm short, I'm an idiot, I'm unloved. And sometimes people just, characterize themselves according to the color of the hair. I'm blonde. I never understood that, That means I'm a color, I'm the hair color. I'm blonde means I'm golden, I'm a bunch of golden hair. That's all it is. At least that's better than saying I'm bald. Then I'm a bunch of non-existent hair. Hair that should have been there, which is not there, that is who I am. Think about what a sad definition it is. Very sad. And so therefore, this is why all these definitions, it just brings to light, but none of those definitions apply to the self, because you take a certain attribute and then you cling on to this as your identity. And here is what Janaka, the king, is told, that is not your identity. Your activity is not your identity. How you sit, where you stand, where you go, going to work, your results of action are not your identity. Neither is your body your identity. Your mind is not your identity. You are not the body. You are not the mind. You are not the senses or a conglomeration thereof. You are not the complexes. that ensues within this body-mind-sense complex that becomes evident to you. Anything that becomes evident to you is not you. This is what is called, Tvam Pada Vichara, an inquiry into the word, what is this you? Very important stuff. So now what do we have? We have this I, which is in the form of Jyotir-Swarupa, all light, light of awareness, light, all knowledge. Awareness means knowledge, and light means everything becomes evident. So we have this, and then we have that which is the Sakshi, that which witnesses everything. And then what do we have? Sakshya, then we have everything else that becomes evident. So we have the witness, self, and the witnessed everything else, starting with the body-mind complex. How many things there are? 2 things. Right? What are the 2 things? I, subject, and everything else? Object. Where does that leave us? Yeah, in a quandary called Dvaita. Swimming in the waters of Dvaita, division, duality. I, not I. And this is what we have to, but we have to go this way. No other way, because the I is mixed up with the not I. Like the body, is mixed up with the not I. Sorry, the I. The mind is mixed up with the I. And then everything is just ultimately because of the I. So that therefore we have a very strange equation here that has to be understood. The body is nothing but Atma, because it is a projection of the Atma. Mind is nothing but Atma. Senses nothing but Atma. Atma is not just the body. Atma is not just the mind. Atma is not just the senses. It is everything while being nothing in particular. Very nice. It is everything without being, because it is everything, because it has to bless the presence of everything, because it's the only is in the whole world. It's a stretchable is, limitlessly stretchable is. Puts every elastic to shame. Yeah. And even this circus, in the circus there's always one person, the elastic person who can, contort themselves and stretch themselves into every shape. Puts everything to shame, anything that stretches. Because this is, is what? Is everything. So the isness in the tree, in the plant, in the sun, in the moon, in the waters, in the fire, as for example when I say sun is, moon is, meaning moon exists, sun exists, fire exists, water exists, shrub exists, bush exists, tree exists, fruit exists, flower exists. That's what I'm saying when I say flower is, fruit is, I am saying flower exists. So, if each of these things had a discrete existence, then what would happen? Then I would be I, it would be it, he would be he, she would be she, they would be they. Then there is no resolution possible. Leading to the Brihadaranyaka Upanishad elsewhere, another statement, Dvaitadhi bhayam bhavati. All fear is due to duality. Duality is the cause of fear. Think about it, Duality means the chance that something is going to be bigger than me and scarier than me. That is the cause of sorrow and fear. That's why even in corporate America, what do you have to do? You have to cut the competition. Duality. I'm afraid if somebody is getting more famous, I'm afraid. If somebody is getting richer, I'm afraid. And then this fear never goes. Even if you become the king of heaven, even if you go to heaven, this fear persists, as is seen with Lord Indra. Indra is an exalted individual due to doing a lot of punya, good works in the world, has gone to heaven and is the king of heaven, has a huge bungalow, a lot of people to serve him. Is Indra happy? Say no. No. Why? Because Indra is worried that somebody will also do all these fire rituals that put me here. 100 Rajasuya Yajna. Rajasuya Yajna means Yajna for kingdom. So for heaven kingdom, you have to do 100 of them perfectly, and then you can become the next Indra. Whoever is interested, raise their hands. So, I said that because even online there is a function, you can raise the hand. But nobody did. Thank God. That's because we are not interested in becoming Indra, Yama, all this. Aindra Pada, it is called the Padavi, the status of being Indra, nobody is interested. What a miserable status, because you go there, sit in heaven, and then you're looking around. Who is coming for my seat? Yeah, it's, it might as well just be a politician here. The politician is also looking around. Oh my God, I have gone down in the polls. Quick, give everybody something, so that they will vote for me. Cut the competition, quick. How to become more popular, Let me do some distraction. Let me try to do something here. Or, better yet, let me just tell that the other fellow was involved in some hanky-panky somewhere, Photoshop something, and Photoshop a big suitcase of money, and then Photoshop this fellow receiving it, and then say, okay, this person is corrupt. This is how to cut the competition. Why? Because the politician is always worried about the chair. They have to protect their chair, and to protect their chair they will go to any extent. And the chair is so important that in order to keep the chair, if it is expedient to talk, they will talk. If it's expedient to keep quiet, they will keep quiet, So might as well be a politician here. Why go there and be Indra and behave like a politician? Indra is also looking around. That person is doing 98 Rajasuya Yajnas. Okay, let me just drop a crow feather, which is not a good news, inside the fire ritual. And then so they have to, when the 98th one is, polluted by a crow feather, you can't say, okay, I'll do it again. You have to start from where? 1. Back to square 1. This is what the whole thing is. So, you see, even after becoming Indra, the highest status, or even Brahmaji, you are not happy. Even Brahmaji is replaced. Everybody is replaced at the end of what is called a kalpa, a big chunk of time. And then 4 yugas. At the end of 4 yugas, they are replaced. So that's why you are not happy just to have this status, because any status you have to protect. Here, knowing the I is much simpler, because then there is nothing to protect. Nakaschit gopayitum ichchati. So this I simply is, limitlessly is, consciously is, awarefully is. And this is the, we should even use the word basis, but for lack of a better word, this isness is the basis of all existence. Everything that exists has to borrow from this elastic is. So when I say rock exists, then what? Rock exists. It means the isness in the rock is the same as the isness in the body. This body, that body exists, everything exists. In fact, we can say existence rocks, yeah? You know? It's rocking here, it is treeing over there, it is doing something. That same existence is taking on myriad, innumerable names and forms. So, this whole universe of names and forms, words and meanings, everything is just an extension of this is, with different hats, different guises. You know, like children coming in Halloween costumes. Sometimes a clever child comes to the same house 3 times in 3 different costumes. And they don't know, they just keep giving the candy. And let's say they find, who is this? Take off the hat, take off the mask. Oh, didn't you come earlier? It's just like that. And so this existence is non-separate from anything that exists. It you know, everything that exists draws its existence from this I alone, which is the original existence, you can say, which exists before Bhati, and then everything else exists after this alone, Anubhati. Everything comes to light, this one doesn't come to light, it is light. And then everything draws its existence from this I, and everything draws its existence from this I in the form of sentience. Everything draws its existence. So there is only one Sat, one Chit, Ekameva Advitiyam. So you can have 100 pots. And from the standpoint of the pots, what happens? You know, pot 1, pot 2, pot 3, pot 4, pot 5, you can count. You can keep on counting. In fact, I have some very nice pots here. And they are a little upset, because if they had a human mind, they would be upset, because they are taken out only on special occasions. And so we have to, you know, sometimes we have to showcase them. And they only fit certain fingers, you see. So I have to be very careful. Oh, this one is very frightened. I have to be careful. See how nicely they are made? Yeah, beautiful. So, pot number 1, pot number 2, pot number 3, pot number 4, pot number 5. Correct? So many pots. And each one has a history, each one has a mystery. How did it, and actually we still don't know how this got here. That's a big mystery. Somebody must have attended a class and then left it in a nice little package here. And then we never heard from them ever again. Yeah. Their job was done. Their job was to probably hand make these teaching pots. Correct? See, some of them have ears, some of them has just a nose. Yeah, so they have lot of things. So like this, from the standpoint of the pots, each one looks different. Correct? These two have ears, but this one is shorter than that one. And this one is narrower because this one will not fit on this finger. And this one is unique because it's the only one with one ear. Correct? And then these two are alike, but one is bigger than the other. And so, like this, each one is different. You can do a PhD on each of these pots. You know? And if they had a human mind, they would be very upset. And this one, which is a little loose, the one on the index finger would be nervous. It will be saying, put me down. You almost dropped me just picking me up. I'm afraid of heights. What are you doing? And the other ones perhaps would say, well, we had such plans, and now we are just a teaching pot. We don't see the light of the day. Only during Thanksgiving we come out. What's wrong with this scheme of things? It must be our karma, And so these pots, this also has 2 ears, but it's behind its head. So these pots are all in distress. Why? Because they don't know that they are all what? Clay. They are one. Why are they one? Because they are all clay. They don't know that. They need a pot guru. No pun intended here. Okay, yeah. They need a pot guru coming from somewhere, Yeah. They need a pot, pot teacher who will say, now they are gathered round. This is a Vedanta class over here, okay? Yeah, with all these pots and the guru pot. Guru has to look different, yeah? Then why isn't there an orange glaze? Come on, doesn't matter. You use your imagination, yeah. So this is Krishna, blue. Krishna is the teacher here. Krishna is the guru. That's why Krishna is blue. Why is Krishna blue? Because he chases away your blues. Yeah, that's why he's blue. And so here, let's say Bhagavan Krishna himself is the teacher, and all these pots are happily gathered here, and then Krishna is teaching each and every one of them. You are not pot. What do you mean I'm not pot? That's my middle name, pot. That's my last name, pot. You are not pot. You are clay. No, clay is God. That's blasphemous. Don't say I'm clay. You are clay. You are not pot. Oh, okay, I may be clay, but what about this other one? This one is... you are also clay. What about you? What about me? You are also clay. What about this one? You are also clay. And then finally the other one, which looks similar but is slightly bigger. What about me? You are also clay. How do you say that we are clay? Because you don't have a leg to stand on. If we weigh this pot, the weight is not the weight of pot. The weight of pot is the weight of clay. The color of pot is what? The color of clay, except Krishna, because he's special. He's got a blue glaze. Okay? Color of pot is the color of clay. And then what? If you were to smell this pot, what do you smell? Do you smell pot? No pun intended, okay? Or do you smell clay? You smell clay. It's clay all the way. And that's what Shvetaketu is told. Ekena mritpindena sarvam mrinmayam vijñātam iva bhavati. By just examining and understanding and inquiring into one lump of clay, the whole earthenware world is mastered. You can recognize clay no matter what form it shakes and it takes. You can see that it is just clay. A big pot, clay. Smaller pot, clay. And maybe it's not a pot at all. Maybe it's in the form of a lid. Still clay. Lid is clay, pot is clay. Maybe it's in the form of a clay horse. It is still clay. Everything is just clay. Here, put that away. Everything is just clay all the way. So then what about the pot? Huh? Can we say there is no pot? Shall we dismiss the pot altogether? No? Okay. Then what shall we do to the pot? Huh? It's the jiva, but it's not really a jiva, it's an as though pot. We bring in these fellows. The words as though within apostrophes. See, this is the beauty of it. You don't have to, in order to study this knowledge, you don't have to dismiss anything. Otherwise you get into dissociation. I'm not the body, I'm not the mind, I'm not the senses, I'm not this, not this, not this. What are you? An onion? You know, keep on peeling. Not very appealing. Yeah, to keep on peeling. At the end, there is what? Nothing. You know, this is where we diverge into Buddhism. The truth of the world, dear friends, is nothing. Says who? An existent being who is something. So in fact, even to cognize nothing, you need something to cognize nothing. And that something can never be nothing. Understood?
Yes.
Say yes, even if you didn't.
Yes.
Yeah. That something which cognizes nothing, cannot be denied. That's something. Yeah. That's something to pay attention to. That which cognizes nothing is a conscious presence which cannot be ever denied. Try saying, I'm not here. You start laughing. I'm not here. I'm not here. I mean, unless you're saying I have checked out, I'm not here. I'm here physically but not mentally. All these things we are not talking about. Just say, I don't exist. And you can't say, I don't exist. Asanne vasabhavati asad brahmeti veda ched asti brahmeti ched veda santamenantato viduriti. So the one who says, there is no Brahman, the truth of the universe. There is no Atma is Brahman. So the one who says, there is no Atma, there is no I, then that person itself becomes as good as non-existent. Taittiriya Upanishad says this. Therefore what? Therefore, this is a very, very, this is very important to understand. That the Upanishad does not dismiss everything that is existent. It just puts a word on it. It as though exists. But it's a borrowed existence. Even to say the word borrowed, is funny. But borrows its existence from Sat. Draws it, that's better, draws its existence from Sat, from this Atma, from this light of all lights, which never becomes, dark, which never becomes, which never becomes self-unaware, which is evident. And everything which is self-evident and everything is evident to which draws the light. It draws its existence. Everything in the universe is just as though. Body is there, it is as though. As though means it's a plus for the Atma. The Atma exists in many names and forms, many words and meanings. This funny looking body is one of them, called what? Scorpion. Very funny looking. Yeah. Crocodile. Another, funny looking body. Half the animal is teeth, Another form. Human body. One more form. Dog body, cat body, rock body. Everything is just this. Is. And then, and all of this existence is a limitless existence. Limitlessly is. And then this knowledge is limitlessly sentient, limitlessly all knowledge. And here we have to say, see, just like the existence, it doesn't undergo a change even though it manifests into so many names and forms. And similarly, this knowledge manifests into knowledge of biology, psychology, anatomy, this knowledge, that knowledge, new branches of knowledge without undergoing any change. But what is this knowledge? When I say knowledge, do I mean knower? Yes. Is knower included? Yes. Is what I know included? Is the object of knowledge included? Yes. Is the subject, the knower, pramata included? Yes. Are the means by which I come to know, sight, hearing, etc. included? Yes. So what is this knowledge? What is this chit? Chit is everything and nothing at the same time. It lends its existence to everything. It lends its existence to the status of knower. When you say, yes, I know, it is that same awareness that has as though morphed into knower. What do you know? I know this pot. I know that this pot is nothing but clay. Known. And what is this known? That same existence, that same sentience, morphed into subject of knowledge. Oh, but wait, the object and subject are face to face. They are existing simultaneously along with the division. And what is that division? The eyesight that is bringing this to bringing this to being. And so what is this eyesight? Means of knowledge. That is also existing. So we have a triputi here. We have a triad of the knower and the known and the means of knowledge existing simultaneously in, so to speak, real time. How is this happening? It's happening because that existent all knowledge, that conscious being that we are talking about, which is the meaning of the word I, is neither the knower nor the known nor the means of knowledge, but somehow magically has the ability to back up the knower and to exist as the known and the knower and the means of knowledge at the same time, without being any one thing. Knower is Atma, known is Atma, and the means of knowledge is Atma. But Atma is not the knower. Atma is not the object of knowledge. Atma is not a means of knowledge. Everything that exists is Atma. Atma is not any one thing. So therefore you can say body is Atma. Correct? Check. Atma is the body? Wrong. Mind is Atma. Check. Atma is the mind. Wrong. Because if Atma is just one mind, what about the other minds? Then you have to say never mind. Yeah. So it all is one way. It's a one-way street. Or the whole way, all the way, it's a one-way street. So, I am I, everything is I. So this I lends its existence to everything without A, undergoing any change, and B, without becoming any one thing. That's why it is limitless existence. And that's why everything that you confront, when you know this knowledge, everything that you confront is non-separate from you. So, where is the fear? And this very Upanishad is going to say later, Sana anyat pashyati, does not see anything separate than oneself. Anyat na vijanati, does not know anything as separate from oneself. Doesn't see anything as separate from oneself. Doesn't act, as separate from oneself. Everything is oneself alone. This is non-duality. It doesn't dismiss the duality. It transcends it by taking the meaning of the word I to the concept of that light, all awareness, all existence, the source of all existence, which is self-aware. And this is what, just by the word light, that one word, we have taken this whole hour to unfold. So now, the subject-object difference, is it there or not? Of course it is there. But we don't let it bother us. Why? Because we have a vantage point. Everything draws its being from the I. The I is separate from everything else. The I is not affected by anything else. Everything is I is I. So, no problem here. More we shall see tomorrow. Om Purnamadav Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevavashishyate Om Shanti 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 Hari Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Hari Om. If there are any questions, I can answer. Yeah, Satya Yuga has to be followed because we have a pendular concept of time. We don't have a linear or a cyclical concept of time. So Satya Yuga is followed by Treta, followed by Dwapara, followed by, what is called? Satya, Treta, Dwapara, of course, Kali. Then from Kali you can never go to Satya Yuga because Satya Yuga is much more refined. So you have to go Kali, Dwapara, Treta, Satya. That is how we have a kind of a, what is that called? Pendulum. It goes like a pendulum, kind of a concept of time. Okay? Yeah. Hridi. Yeah, Hrid is heart, in the heart. Tomorrow I will explain. We haven't looked at the fully the text. Tomorrow, what time do we have? 8 o'clock our time. I don't know where you are. And Eugene time, Pacific time. And then the class schedule has been loaded up. You can, it's called fall and winter classes. And then you can download that. And then, then you will know what is happening when. Okay? Yeah. All the best. So, Beena, you are back from Canada? Oh, still in Canada. Okay. All right. All the best. Yeah, 1 a.m. Okay. 1 a.m. in the East Coast. 8 a.m. 11 a.m. 11 a.m. Yeah. 11 a.m. Yeah, not 1 a.m. In India, 1 a.m. Yes. Oh, all the best. Take care.